So, as part of our second fix, if you like, or the next step of doing the staircase, we're running the apron lining through. So the apron lining is sold as a separate package from StairBox, and the apron lining basically means anywhere where you're closing in the joist construction here. On this side we have a wall surface which meets the ceiling surface, so it's all decorated in. But on this face, because we're joining to the floor and we have a balustrade, we want the same detail as the nosing repeated here. So what it consists of is an oak-faced veneered MDF board, which is plenty wide enough to rip down to suit your joist heights. So in our case, the overall sort of underside of finished floor, if you like, or the top of the joist to the ceiling is 250 millimeters. We've got about 300 millimeters there. So that forms the face. It's exactly the same veneer as the rest of the stairs. It's MDF, it's not going to crack or it's not going to bend and buckle and split. Then there's a nosing section which is exactly the same as the treads on the staircase. And to cap it at the bottom, there is a small bead, which is like this, which will take you around to the ceiling, something like this. So we're going to go and pop that in. Now what I've obviously done differently is I've adapted our nosing to pick up our floor. So I've put a rebate. Let's go upstairs and I'll show you exactly what we've done, and we're going to fix that in now because the floor layers are here and they're going to join their floor into it. So as I was saying, our nosing, we've modified it to take our finished floor. So our finished floor is a floating vinyl floor. This is a Cardine floor and the floor layers are here now. So we've got a rebate here which allows this floor to come over into it. We've got a little bit of sanding wear there. I've got about 1 millimeter up there, so we can sand that and we can finish it because we're going to oil this. So we'll take that edge, we'll oil this in situ and we'll join the skirting onto there. So here's my nosing that I've prepared. I've also run a groove in the bottom, so you don't need to do this, but I've run a groove in the bottom so we can put our apron on. We'll glue that and pin that on. We'll then slot over the top here with this. But before we do that, we'll set the newel in position because I've made the newel with a rebate and I've also created a housing for this. You don't have to do this. Indeed, the other side of the newel from the factory doesn't have that, and I can't really do that in situ. But I've done it anyway, so I've just used a small router and I've free-handed that round to get that nosing to sort of lip into there nicely. So what we do is we drop in our newel here, just slide their flooring out the way for a minute. We drop in our newel here, that's ready to go. Then we would put in the nose in here, drop that down, pop that in there, give that a little tap, gentle tap. It's a nice fit. That goes in here, pull all that up tight. So then we've got our apron here that we've pre-cut and shot in. I've got an arrow which references which way up it goes. So that would effectively do this. It would go in, I've got to just take out the relief for that last bit there. This is going to come up into our groove, into here, and straight in. There. So that's the basis of the apron. And then the last job will be put the small bead to cover up the ceiling. All right, so that's basically what you get. You get the nosing, you get the front piece, and obviously we had the half newel. So that is the apron lining. We've just got to glue it and pin it in now. I'm going to make that parallel, dead parallel to the door frame. That's the first thing. The door frames are nice and true. We'll leave that there. Then we'll get the rest of it in. Bit of timber glue now. First of all, just slot that flooring back. That one's pinned.
You don't really need to glue the nosings, but I just think, you know, wood to wood, it's nice to glue it. We'll have a little bit in that rebate there as well. Not too much, it's going to run out, but we'll have a bit in there as well. And we're going to drop this down over the top into that housing that we made there. And it's going to push against the other newel, and that's what's going to hold it all nice and tight. I'm just going to use the rubber of my hammer to tap that down until I get it to where it needs to be. I'm going to leave it up a touch until I get this lining in. I've got a little bit of relief here, which is in the rebate on the other end. We're going to pop that here into there. There we go. Pick up the groove above. Pop that in there. And that, I can now tap this down. Come around this side and have a look. With the rubber of my hammer. And that is down to where I want it to be. We've picked up the groove there. Now I can tap it back to pull the apron tight to the groove and tight back to there. And that's the apron ready. I'll tap the upper end up into the groove. It's gone into the groove nicely. There we go. So we're going to get a couple of fixings in that apron into the timber beyond. It doesn't need a lot more. The reason I do a groove at the top is to save on face fixings, because that groove is doing all the work. I'm going to put a pin in the nosing. Now the nosing is getting covered by the balustrade, if you like, the bottom rail. So we're going to get a pin there, a pin here, and one at this end. That's it, and we're really just perfect for the floor to sail over. So then what we're going to do is just going to take it into, just going to pop that there. We're going to just take it in to the softwood grounds below. 1, 2. That's all we need to hold that for the time being, and that's it. So that's the newel in, the nosing in, the apron in. We've got to cut the bead on the bottom and fix the newel post. We'll do that by where the handrail is going to go. We'll put a fixing behind there, so when the handrail's in, it's completely covered.